Hello and welcome. We are back at AES. I'm talking to Richard from Sonifex. Richard, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. Thank you.
Excellent. We are excited by your portable Dante converter boxes, and I wondered, could you show those to us?
Certainly can, yep. So here we have our AVN-DIO range of Dante interface boxes. We kind of like to call them problem solvers because they give you a load of different options to get in either audio into the Dante network or audio out of the Dante network. So we have simple XLR inputs, so you've got two inputs here to the Dante network, you've got two outputs here from the Dante network. We also have an in and an out unbalanced on phono connectors, in and out balanced on terminal blocks, digital in and out on XLR and BNCs, and again the same thing on the terminal blocks as well. Then in addition to these, we have a headphone output from the Dante network. That's quite useful. You can plug that into anywhere on the network, and as long as your link's set up in the Dante controller, it gives you the audio that you've set as an output to that straight to your headset or headphones, and you have the normal 1/4 inch jack or the 3.5mm jack. You've got your own limiter on there, and you also got your own volume control pot as well.
Wow.
And in addition to that, this is also slightly different to the other ones. This is a mic input to the Dante network. So again, we've just got a simple mic plugged into here. It gives you the option to put the high pass filter, phantom power. There's also a 30 dB pad there and a small adjustment there on the gain range for your microphone. So it's capable of taking various different microphones with different levels of gain within them.
And are these, I'm sorry, are these PoE powered? Are
Yep,
they 12
these are all PoE powered.
And
Yep.
is there any other way to power them besides PoE?
No, they're just purely over PoE. Apart from the new GPIO box that we have, this is PoE, and there's also a 12-volt DC on the rear of the unit as well.
Copy that. And how is the GPIO controlled?
So the GPIO is controlled, there's two ways. So you can either have a simple unit controlling another unit, or you can use on the web GUI for that particular unit. So if we pick this one up, you can go into config and the GPIO, and then you can control this simply
Copy that.
to control a remote unit, or you can go from unit to unit.
And is there an API like if somebody wanted to use a Stream Deck, you know, like a Stream Deck or BitFocus Companion to use that?
Within these units, we use Ember Plus commands or UDP commands.
Okay.
So either of those two you can use between the two boxes or multiple boxes. You can have this that runs and controls 5 of the boxes on your network.
The reason I'm asking, some people in our market might be interested to control bells and lights, like recording tally.
Yeah,
kind of
I mean, that's definitely what we're doing. We're doing a similar sort of thing here. So we're using these buttons. It's sending what we call a physical command to that unit tucked on the side of the rack there, which then makes that record sign at the bottom change color when we're in mute mode. So the principle, you can control signs and other closing. It gives you a closing contact out to control other equipment such as signs.
Now, I appreciate this deep nerd dive, but you know, the thing that our customers have asked about the most from Sonifex are the bigger, like the Dante to AES converter boxes that are bigger but still portable. Can you show us those?
Yeah, certainly. So these are the small ones, so like stereo or 2 inputs, whereas then we move on to the slightly larger ones. So this is what we call our DIO 12 unit. So this is 2 of the 9 units side by side in a slightly larger rack. They have the same functionality. You have the 30 dB pad, the high pass filter, the phantom, and then the gain adjustment. Again, PoE, then we have the DIO14, which is a 2-input, 2-output. So that's basically the DIO1 and 2 in the same box. Then we have the DIO15, which is 4 inputs, so 2 of the DIO2s, and then the 16, which is the 4 outputs, so 2 of the DIO1s in the same box.
Copy that. And what are the 3 boxes on the top here?
So these are the units that have the higher channel counts. So we have here is our DIO10, which is our Dante to SDI and SDI to Dante embedder, de-embedder. So with this unit, you can take in your SDI and you can take any number from 1 to 16 of the embedded channels in the SDI, present them to the Dante network. Then you can either change around how you want the channels embedded, or you can embed some channels with other channels from the Dante network and then re-embed to the SDI and send that out.
Awesome. And
so this has a slightly higher channel count than these.
Sure. And what's the latency on something like that?
I'm not sure on the latency on that.
Yeah.
It kind of depends on the network that you're running on.
Got it. And what about the last 2 boxes?
So these last 2 boxes, these are the higher channel count. So this is our DIO20, and that is a Dante to MADI and MADI to Dante box. So that takes the full 64 MADI channels in and then converts them to the Dante network, and also gives the ability to put Dante channels back into the MADI. It also gives you the ability on this unit to have 16 digital channels as well.
Huh.
So
by digital, you mean
AES.
AES,
So yeah, you have those on the rear.
Wow.
So you have your ins and outs on the 25-way D subs.
Yeah. That's a very flexible box.
And one of the differences between the smaller boxes here and these 3 larger boxes on the top with the higher channel counts, because they use a different Dante chipset from Ordinate, we have the dual redundant Ethernet ports. So you can have dual networks, or you can just have that. You can have the secondary as a backup power, if you wanted to. And that's the same on all 3 of these boxes. And then DIO19 is the 8 balanced AES IO on the same. So it's a very similar unit to the 20, but just doesn't have the MADI connection on there.
Brilliant. Thank you very, very much for spending time with us.
Thank you very much as well.